Our mission at My Veteran Passion, MVP, is to elevate awareness of veterans' mental health. Through both physical and virtual platforms, we empower our nation's warriors and continue the battle against veteran suicide to ensure a smooth transition for veterans into civilian life while preserving the camaraderie they cherished during their service. Through diverse events, social and virtual gatherings, we provide connections, resources, benefits, and education.
And as I've
Strong bodies harbor resilient minds. Your support unleashes the true potential of these national heroes. Stand with us in nurturing success and creating a positive environment for mental and physical health alike.
My Veteran Passion is a 501c3 federally recognized nonprofit designed to help the community's mental health through physical fitness and virtual gatherings to aid veterans in transition to their local communities and prevent veteran suicide. The views expressed by individuals are individual ideas. MVP does not condone the use of sexist, racist, or discriminatory statements or remarks. This is an adult conversation.
Ni hao ma, Jay.
Ni hao ma.
How do you do?
what was no, that's about all I know. Yep.
I'll give you a second.
hao.
I need to check something real quick.
All I know is ni hao.
Ni hao.
I remember that from World of Warcraft when I was in high school. The Chinese gold farmers playing that game.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I
remember
mhm.
I used to help one farm gold. Then he would give me a little bit of the cut. It was kind of cool.
He would give you a cut.
I would keep him alive. Yeah, I would just heal him while he killed things, and yeah, it worked out.
That's awesome. One of my good friends, still a good friend of mine, his girlfriend was from New York, and her background was Chinese. And she would try to teach us. When I went to college, like I lived with her because they're like, hey, because I was getting out, I was going to ASU and I got an opportunity to come to the U of A. Oh, speaking of the U of A,
Nice.
this is what I got as a like, congratulations, you're part of the Ecology and Evolutionary Biology alumni. Boom, a cup. That's it. I don't know like, the degree. I don't know where it is, but every time I see the cup, I'm like, yeah, I did stuff.
At least it's a cup that you can drink out of.
Yeah, and it's the best part of it is that it's a left-handed cup. I'm a left-handed. You don't find that often. I'm sorry. Yeah, but
that reminds me of that line from Borderlands. There goes all the left-handed
yeah. But yeah, Teresa, she allowed me to, when I was moving down here, to rent a beautiful, like, upstairs, kind of like a mother-in-law house. It had everything. It had a little kitchen, like bathroom and all that for like $200. Going to college after like getting Pell Grants, just got my disability, and I'm working.
Yeah.
And I was on the reserves. No, yeah, I was comfortable. Absolutely. Yeah, they were very kind to me. But I was just going to college and shit like that, so you know how that goes. But
Yeah, man.
I
You
hadn't
get
even.
paid to get educated.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You know, you got to find a
Good
way
deal.
to milk every. You know, got to make a dollar out of 50 cent. You know, but I'm sure we all, you know, did what we could with the opportunities that we had, and um, one of the things that we did throughout our service in June, being that it's a PTSD awareness month. You know, we're talking a little bit more about PTSD and what is PTSD, or what people call PTS now, post traumatic stress. Too early, says Craze Bat. Buenos dias, Craze Bat. We did change the time in Arizona. It's 6 a.m. I woke up a little late. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, Jay, give me a second. I'm setting stuff up over here. I need to meditate.
I need to meditate.
Yeah. No, but you know, the whole week we're gonna talk about understanding PTSD. You know, we're gonna talk about just today, just what are some of the symptoms, the physiological, the psychological, some of the emotional impacts it might have in your life. Everyone's is different, you know. Sometimes some people didn't know that this was a thing, or oh, is that why I do this, or is that why I do that? Or sometimes people want to go seek a professional to actually get diagnosed or talk about it, because at the end of the day we got to make sure that we use our tool belt, and being that a professional is the way to go when it comes to really being diagnosed, because we talk about it because some of us have been diagnosed, you know, like, yep, I got that badge, you know. So that doesn't make us professionals. That just means that, hey, I'll tell you how the water is. I've been in the water for the last 10 years, you know? So it might come out a little odd, but it is what it is. What's up, Doro?
Mhm.
Buenos dias, muchacho. Or buenas tardes for you. A little outside our time zone here. Thank you for joining us. But we're talking a little bit more about things that, you know, people deal with, and that's, you know, PTSD. Do just people that go to war get PTSD?
No.
No.
Who else can get PTSD? Like, what are some of the um? You guys think that when it comes to PTSD, is it like just one symptom or something like that, or could it be a multiple of things?
I think multiple.
Um, when it comes to going to war, or not even going to war, just, and this is just my experience, obviously just talking about me, and I think that could maybe encompass a couple of us, not saying all. um but even going to boot camp could be a traumatic experience for some people. It could be sometimes so traumatic that that is what gets them out of the military, is that they weren't ever, you know, they get some issues with this, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just certain people, it's not for them. And sometimes, you know, I've known of people that were hazed in boot camp so much that they broke their leg. You know, that person definitely had a PTSD from that. I can guarantee you that's crazy, you know? But sometimes that's the exposure of trauma that happens that can develop such symptoms, um, that can give people, you know, flashbacks, nightmares, anxiety. I mean, how many times we sit there and they call it the 1,000 mile stare? You know that sometimes even Conejo's like, hey, oh yeah, because we get lost in our thoughts, and it doesn't have to be my buddy lost his leg next to me. My buddy was picking up trash and got sniped. You know, doesn't have to be something like that. It could be like, I got in a car crash. I lost my parents because of it. You know, I almost drowned. So when people are in the water, they freak out sometimes. Um, I was sexually assaulted. That can create a lot of trauma going throughout life. personal issues that could also affect your personal life. You know, when it comes to PTSD, it affects everything: our work, our fitness, our love life. Biggest statistics for us is divorce rate. That sucks. It's another badge to put on us. You know, but this is not something to like bash on veterans or statistics. It's more to understand why this happens, and by understanding that, we can help other people so it doesn't happen to them. So we get it that it happened to us, but how can we prevent that? And that's the beauty about having veteran supporters here, because that's the other side of like, hey, listen, like we know this, but this, and this is what can drive people away. Sometimes our way of being becomes that, you know. Um, so what do you guys think are some symptoms of that PTS? Morning, Bex.
Morning. I'm gonna say step up and
Thank
go
you.
first.
Yeah, we're gonna read
So
it. Appreciate you.
yeah, no. So it's actually not what I put in the chat, but that's a good one,
Okay.
avoidance. But so I've been watching YouTube lately, and I know I stumbled across the show Hoarders. Now I used to watch it like years ago, and coincidentally, my grandmother was always like a hoarder, and we would always like joke, right? Or everybody ever knew like the guy who had the junkie yard in the neighborhood who collected everything. So I've been watching this on YouTube, and one thing that I realized is, and it's really sad, almost every single one of these people whose house is piled to the brim of just trash have had some type of traumatic experience that they never got mental health help for. And so, I think that that is definitely a symptom when you find yourself even just buying stuff, being a shopaholic. Hoarding doesn't mean trash and crazy. It could just mean tons of clothes, tons of shoes. But what you're doing is you're really just trying to fill a hole inside of you that you don't know is there. My grandmother, she lost very tragically one of her children at a very young age to a tragic accident, and my father witnessed it. And I think that both of them, even from, that was in the 60s, late 60s, they still never got help for it. And my grandmother died destitute, surrounded by her stuff. And at first I was really angry, but after watching it this last couple weeks, I realized it's a it's not her fault. It was PTSD, but no one ever talked about it or said, "Hey, I think you really need some help." Everyone, "Oh, that's just her." But, pay
Yeah.
attention to when your loved ones start doing something really dramatic or out of character. Don't be afraid to say, "Hey, is something more going on here? Because I feel like this is just a symptom of another problem."
One of the things I'm gonna leave a little follow up for everyone. Find out when the actual diagnosis of PTSD was, for Friday, for Fun Fact Friday. That would be awesome if you guys can find that out. But I think when that happened, not only created that attention to that traumatic experience, but also started bringing up like, hey, everyone else, this also means someone else can get this. Like you said, someone losing a loved one is an extreme traumatic experience that not a lot of people know how to cope with. Like, no one teaches you how to, like, oh yeah, your mom died. Like, how are you gonna deal with that? You don't know. Like, for me, one of my traumatic, or like, I feel like um it's part of my PTSD is guilt. It's like a moral guilt of like what happened to me out there, what I could do, but the repercussions here at home, like, to me, because of my personal life, and I mean, seeing that my mother And some people call it salvation, you know, but my mom wasn't as religious before until I joined the military. And she became, and that's how I feel like spirituality is part of healing for people and helping them, because my mom didn't know how to cope with it. So she felt like she had to find a higher power in order to help me. And I'm telling you, I don't know what happened out there sometimes that I feel like, how come I didn't get hit? Like, what's going on? I felt like someone was watching over me. I even thought sometimes that. But, and I told my mom, and my mom, obviously, her reference was to, you know, you're destined to do bigger things. You're, you know, something to that extent. And she said, you know, it's God's plan. And, you know, to me, it makes me sad because I wish my friends were part of that plan. Woof. Loud noises.
But you know what, Doc? I'm just gonna just follow up and just say what you're doing now and how you're living your life and what you're creating with MVP is honoring them in the best way possible.
Well, it's we, because I need help. I need help. Yeah, with myself and all that. But to help other people, to help, you know. So, but I'm about to do avoidance. You know, it's part of situation conversations with people that remind you of trauma, so you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to do this. You know, so it's emotional.
But if you avoid, it's going to come out in other unhealthy ways.
Yep.
You don't know that, like you said, you don't know how you're going to react until to a situation until it happens. You also don't know, you know, well, the impact of putting that off or avoiding that, what it's going to have long term. It's going to come out in other self-destructive ways. I know that firsthand.
Oh yeah. Um, what's the biggest thing that we do when, you know, we don't know how to cope with things? You know, there's in country songs, like there's a whiskey lullaby or something like that, right? Where like people drive themselves to drugs and alcohol to, you know, to cope with such behaviors, or to think they're helping themselves. You know, it's a, you know, it's part of altering your mind when you're going through that PTSD, and it's like a response or a self-destructive response at times. We don't know how to do it. You know, we just do it because we think it's right or we've heard it's okay. But back then, like you said, they didn't teach us um, positive ways to heal other than, suck it up. That's just the way they are. You know, oh, you know, X, Y, or Z. Put whatever excuse there other than, no, they need help. They need either, you know, we could talk about a little bit more about like more information on treatments and such. And sometimes you need to have conversations with people. But excuse me, no, that exposure to that trauma can develop that PTSD or PTS, however you guys want to call it. It is a stressor that happens to a lot of people, and I don't know, is there any blatant ways you guys see yourself, or I'm not saying that you guys have it, or you feel like you went through a traumatic event and you might have healed, that you're like, yes, I was avoiding this for a while. You know, I've had these flashbacks of this multiple times. That's why I can't hang out with these people. That's why I can't, you know, play these video games. That's why, you know, I don't want to do this because it brings me back to these days. You guys have any examples or things to that matter? I mean, your environmental factors are big too, because let's say you're drowning. I mean, I experienced drowning. I know that like if I'm sleeping and like I feel like water around me or like something, it wakes me up. But I mean, I think a lot of us, a lot of us back in the day would just, it's part of life. Like you gotta experience drowning. Like that's, they put you there for a reason, to so you can know that action and react with it. Um, it's part of training too. As bad as that sounds, but um, I can now like get in the water like whatever. I could, but now because I have that understanding that, after that traumatic event, like I'm losing breath, I don't know what to do. I have to remember go back to those techniques that they taught me. That tool belt, right? Of like, all right, um, relax, hold your breath, find out what's going on. Don't do too much. Don't flail around. And then once the instructors feel like, all right, he knows what he's doing or whatever, they let go a little bit, but they want you to feel like you need to relax. It's part of life, right? I mean, my biggest stressor in itself is that like yeah, I get the flashbacks, I get the nightmares, but they're not as bad as before. Um, before and Crazy Bat can be with me on that one. Thank you, Dora. Appreciate you. There was cameras that like if you go over a certain speed, they take a picture of you. Well, when you're out there patrolling or something like that, and you hit an IED at night, you don't hear it. You see it first, and it's just a flash. It's just a flash. So anytime that you were patrolling or something, you see a flash, most of us would take a knee really quick and think like, "Uh-oh, what happened?" You know, and whatever that was. But anyways, driving at night through the interstate in Phoenix, and sure enough, as I'm driving, no, my buddy was driving. Thank God I wasn't driving, and I was just looking outside. The next thing you know, because he was going fast, woof, a fucking flash, and my life just like woof, my blood just went down. I was like, oh, what just happened? I thought I got hit. No worries, bro. I thought I got hit, and that was like part of the symptoms that I had because I was so close to like people stepping on IDs, uh, really close explosions and stuff like that, and it happened, But something that eventually like the desensitization, people taking pictures, random flashes, going to football games and like having when they score a touchdown, the fireworks go off. Oh, damn, that was crazy too, like the first time. But eventually you have to reintegrate to society, right? And that's what we do, what we're doing here. Jay, what was the hardest thing for you to reintegrate when it comes to like something that would make you like be on a standstill or sometimes make you a little bit more, I don't know, angry at times for no reason. You know what I mean?
I hate leaving my apartment. Like, for me, I just, there's very few places on this planet I feel safe, and my apartment's one of them. I feel safe here. And when I leave that boundary, for me mentally, like, I'm going on patrol. I'm going out into the unknown. I may never come home again. I don't know. Like, and like and it's weird because like I rationalize some of my fears with statistics, Like just getting in a car, you're rolling the dice of your life. Like I don't drive anymore. Like I just like I'm very like for me it's all about taking little to no risk. Like if I have to risk or feel like I'm risking something, I get really uncomfortable really fast. So
Mm. What's helped you with that? Or if not, no big deal. You slowly but surely.
um So, I mean, I'll be real with you. Like, I was able to go to a hockey game, and there was like 20,000 people in that son of a gun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've gone to two hockey games. I used to go to them when I was a kid growing up. I used to play ice hockey. Um, go with my girlfriend occasionally. So, if I'm with someone and I'm like with hockey, it's familiar for me. So, like, I don't know. I was able to go, and that was kind of big for me. Like being able to do that was a big deal. So
Honestly, like one of my favorite things when it comes to the events that we do for Memorial Day weekend is seeing these hard minded veterans just melt those walls down because the people that are here are hanging out with them. So they already have, so you have like Beam is giggling, you got Rudder like laughing, like Fat Boy's always a great time to be around. So he's always laughing, and everyone being around each other brings everyone out. And I saw this in Austin. It was Bad News Bear, or Good News Bear now. Good News Bear. It was me, and there was a couple of other Marines from MVP. We were hanging out there, and Bear says, "Hey man, like I don't know about you, but the reason I'm here and hanging out here is because you guys are here. I never do this. This is the first time that I go here, and I lived here all my life. Like I avoid it for that reason. And you guys came in one of the most heavy um, weekends. And I was like, hey man, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. He's like, yeah, man. And he's like, this is different. So he was experiencing and telling me, he's like, I don't know what to do, what's going on and all that, which was awesome. And then when we started walking wherever we went, bro, I shit you not, we got into like a like a little wedge and we're just walking forward. I was like, what the fuck is it? And I saw it and we were all in step. I was like, what the fuck? And I just wanted to be, because that would open up the crowd because we were like that. So we had that internal space with us. So believe it or not, like eventually, like it became, we were close, and like we would just get in step or get into like a little formation because it's easy, because a lot of people, we just know what to do type of thing. So a lot of people always talk about that, about how comfortable they feel around us, like if they're back with their squad or comfortable enough to be like that. I think it's a big thing for us to be around those veteran supporters and veterans that you know want to help us reintegrate. There's like Doro, like he likes hanging out with us. I don't know why sometimes, but he does. Same thing with Rojo. And as always, Miss Plum Sweet. Always being amazing. But there is a change uh, in our mood when it comes to PTSD. It can include trouble remembering things. Like, of that traumatic event, like you might not remember certain things because of it, and you can be blocking things. Those are part of this of avoidance. um the reason they feel comfortable, or maybe Jay can't go to a 20,000 people event, is because we know what happens. We know what could happen. Like we've been in those worst case scenarios. So now that's why we're trying to minimize any risk. Um, no risk, no reward, though, right?
100%.
Vapi talks. Every time I hear this story, it makes me happy to hear this story from Vop. It's when he decided to go to a concert again, and he speaks of it so happily about it that like every time I hear it, I'm like, yeah, man, like it's so cool because he's like, fuck it, I'll do it. And he had the time of his life. Jay, how was the hockey game?
It was a good time.
Fucking badass time, right? Damn it! Imagine how many other ones we could have gone to. We just missed out. I had to have another traumatic event happen to me in order for me to be like, you know what? I'm gonna go to a concert by myself. I had the time of my life. I had such a good time. I was like, damn it. I should have been doing a lot more. And now I'm looking at it like, hey, who's gonna be in concert? You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that I used to do, but um, it was like 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago. I was just contemplating things and all that, and all of a sudden I was like, "Oh man, hasn't happened to me in probably 2 decades or something like that." I thought, I really want to go camping. Like, what the fuck? And in Tucson, there is a law where the light has to be minimal light uh, pollution, because we have big telescopes.
Telescopes.
Yeah, the U of A makes lens for NASA and all that stuff. We have big. What's that big telescope up in that mountain?
A Hubble scope they made too. Oh, you talking about Kitt Peak Observatory?
Yeah, it's a world renowned observatory. Um, they've collaborated with other observatories like in Brazil, Australia, and all that to like find a picture and find the one of the best resolutions out there for like nebulas and like galaxy gases and shit like that. Sorry, and stuff like that. Sorry for cussing. But anyways, driving and I was looking at the constellations, and it reminded me when I was in Afghanistan and I was looking at the stars and I was mesmerized because we could see the Milky Way, like shooting stars all over the place, and I was like, we have this? Like, oh my god. And um it's beautiful. They don't have any light over there. Like, we were fighting in the mountains and like there was no light. So, you know, you could see everything. And you might remember this, Jay, but those nights were beautiful. And I wanted to see that again. So I thought I want to go camping so I can experience the night sky again. But it's something that made me always happy. And I grew up like in our family ranch and stuff like that. Help out. Sometimes we stayed overnight in the family ranch, and obviously there's not a lot of light out there, so you could see a lot. And I connected or correlated all that with a good memory back in the day, and I'm like, now I need to do that. Like, something just boop. And I think it's part of like getting out of that trauma haze and just getting better.
That's the challenge, is creating new good memories, especially when you do live in trauma.
Yeah, I mean, Crazy Bat says, gotta go. Phone didn't charge last night. I need to finish getting ready for work. Catch you guys later. Have a great Monday, y'all. Yeah, have a great Monday, my man. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. New time. New time, baby. I know this might be a little bit different for most people, but I hope that this works better for people. We're trying new things, and hopefully this is something that can that that's a good change. We're all doing changes and stuff like that. But yeah, typically when it comes to PTS, there is a lot of like avoidance of different things, and sometimes we have to find different memories to supersede those memories. You know what I mean? Like, uh, I remember having a good time in the water and all that stuff all the time, but I can't remember. I can't always be thinking that someone's gonna grab me by my feet, pull me down, and start choking me. If that's the case, then I would have never gotten into the water in Colorado or something like that. Because I'd be afraid of drowning or something. Um, but again, like you said, it's part of creating new memories to that. And again, doesn't have to be about war just because my personal trauma, and I mean there's childhood trauma as well, and we all have some trauma here and there, but some of the things that can cause some of this, yeah, exaggerated blame to self, like me, like it happens to people. It is what it is, and We have to work through it, but it does affect us a lot. Has anyone told you guys like don't talk negative about yourself because you don't know the difference of when you're joking or not? Like I do that a lot, and people call me out on it. It's like shit. Like now that I'm using my tools a lot more, I can see how that's a big no no, big doggy. Like I can't be doing this. And it's hard. It's hard to get out of those trends, like you said, Jay. Um, yeah, there's a lot of
Oh,
ways to
sorry.
go ahead.
I was gonna say that also, our brains love patterns, and so sometimes we get stuck in those negative thought loops and patterns, and we have to learn how to break them. You just sit there and it'll just sit there rotating on that track forever until you take it off.
Yeah.
I also challenge everyone to think about it from a scientific standpoint. And this is Dixon explained this to me when it really helps me understand a lot about my anxiety. No matter who you are and what you've been through, PTSD is from your brain being in fight or flight mode so much that it depletes the other parts of your brain. So, regardless of what your trauma is, or if you don't think yours is that bad, that's not the point. Your brain has been altered by being in that constant state, regardless of what it was.
Yeah.
So, see, give yourself some grace. Just saying.
Yeah. I mean, if it came out of Fat Boy's mouth and it was something about science, you know where it came from.
You. I'm
No,
like, did you hear that from Doc? No, just kidding.
yeah, I get that. No, I mean
And
we're
when
all.
you're
Mhm.
when you're in fight or flight, your frontal lobe basically just shuts off. That's why you have memory issues with PTSD because your brain's not working properly. It's using caveman brain at like the base of the brain stem, and basically that's where most of your cognitive function's coming from. So
Mhm.
it's really primal instinct stuff. So that's why some people fight or flight, they like rage out and they
Angry
start breaking or
outburst,
hitting. Yeah, they just get angry, start breaking or hitting, or so.
irritable behavior,
Hmm.
like I don't give up. Next thing you know, that's what we're saying, right? Like,
Yeah.
and then we're about it because we can be about it, and something triggered us, and it's hard to pull us back from that when we
Hmm.
shouldn't even been there to start with.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's that could create reckless or self-destructive behavior. You know,
Hmm.
a lot of this impairs our social life, our occupations of what we can do, and other very significant areas of functioning. Um, yeah, like you said, um, we got to start working on this slowly but surely, and understanding is part of it. There is a science behind it. There is a depletion of chemicals in your brain, and once they're depleted, like they have to build back up, and then so you're not getting any. So now you're sad and depressed, and sometimes your memory take the big load of it. You know, I know I say this sometimes, but I forgot, or this is the biggest one that I realize. Like I do this, but I don't do it. Um, I don't do it because I forgot the person's name. It's me trying to find the person's name, and I don't know how, so I have to find other ways to get there. So I can't go this way because of trauma. I forget things, so I have to figure out another way where I can like transfer the information so I can connect it somewhere else so I can make it there. So it might take me a little longer to get something sometimes. I wasn't like this before, but I know that I can understand that. So it's like, all right, I can't get mad at myself or frustrated because I can't get it the first time where I used to get it before. I just have to try a different way this time. you know. And thank you, Plum, for saying give yourself grace. That's huge. I I say it to myself, oh, I'm an idiot, or ah, qué pendejo, and I shouldn't be saying that because yes, you used to get it, but back then you didn't go through what you did, and you know all the things that happened to you take a toll on your brain. You know, you got to think about it. It's sometimes when you break your leg, it's not that you can't move your leg; it hurts to move your leg. So therefore, you have to give it time to heal, and then slowly but surely, you start exercising your leg again, and next thing you know, you're gonna be running again. You know, best way to see it because a lot of us don't think of our brain as a muscle. We just think of it as like emotions or something logical. Um, Different ways of like treatments and such are, different from everyone. The brain's different. Um, we don't understand the brain fully yet. What are some good ways for you to like almost treatment or like little decompression actions for you, Jay, or for anyone? I like to pick at Jay because he's handsome. I want to
Like,
be a stash bro here soon. We're
what
gonna
do you mean, like
we're
just
gonna tie
when
up in
it's
Florida when we see each other. My
oh
boss.
gosh.
Ceasefire. Ceasefire.
I mean, for me, it's about like never getting to that tipping point and de-escalating myself before I do something bad, you know? And I've gotten pretty good about that. I had to learn a lot about myself, and I had to just really focus on like what are my early warning signs that things are not going the right way. And so that's kind of where I'm at now is like paying attention to those early warning signs. Like for me, it's like burnout or emotional fatigue. Um, and usually when something like that happens, it's like, okay, it's just I need sleep. It's that simple. It's not a crazy problem for me. It's just I need sleep to rest up so that I can function normally again. So, or another example is like, say I feel that fight or flight kick in, right? Like here we go, here comes the adrenaline dump and like off to the races, right? And so like for me, like I just use breathing. Like when I feel that happen, like I just start breathing as slow and methodical as I can until like that feeling kind of resides and I'm back to normal again. So, but uh,
There's a so I've been doing this recently, and I need to not do it in front of people because I feel like when I do it in front of people, like they know I'm frustrated. So one of the techniques they said, like you have some pressure points that help you out, right? And it you can tap yourself right here, right here, right here, because they're like little cavities that's hopefully, well, I have sinus issues, so they shouldn't be too full, and sometimes when you hit it there is like vibrations that resonate and they make you feel good. That's my theory behind it. They say, yeah, if you hit it makes you feel good, it touches into, and that's my logical explanation to myself. Anyways, so you can tap yourself here, 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 and you just go like this, right? But it looks like you're like, ugh. You know what I mean? So if you tap yourself, and I was doing it the other day, like I was a little upset, and I was like breathing and tapping myself here, and I was like, man, this feels good. But the breathing techniques, man, I've been doing a lot more breathing techniques because of you.
they work.
Yeah, and I honestly, I've known of them. I've known about them all this time. Have I practiced them though? Different story, because it's not until you see someone that you can relate with and you see him doing it and you're like, you know what? I'll try the ice cream. You know, fine. I'll try the strawberry ice cream. I like vanilla ice cream. Fuck, I'll try it. You know? And then you're like, you know what? I think I like ice cream. I think I like strawberry ice cream. You know what I mean? Um,
I tell my stepsons to continuously try foods. And then I think this kind of goes for anything in life as they get older because your taste buds change and you don't know they change until you try it.
absolutely. When I was a kid, I hated clams. I hated scallops. I hated anything that had an oyster around it. Now I don't want to eat it. Now you can't get me away from them. They're so good. Um, what was one of my? We were gonna go eat somewhere, and it was called like Burgers and Mussels in Louisville, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Let's go there." I was like,
Burgers
"Give
and
me the
mussels are.
mussels." Yeah, they were delicious. They're
Bro, that
delicious.
burger was good.
Good times. Can't wait for next year.
I know, excited.
Jay, I won't even say anything now, so I'm just gonna do this so you know.
Do you guys decide where next year is already?
Oh, yeah. So, I'll go ahead. We were invited to Western Florida University. That's up in the Panhandle of Florida. Oh, there's Rojo. There we go. Hey,
Talk
Rojo.
to
Can
us,
you tell us
Rojo.
a little bit more about
Rojo.
Western University?
The University of
Oh, yeah. Hey, sorry. UWF is the college I work at. And Lori McCarris, she's the director for the Veteran Affairs program, and she invited us to come participate in some of their events, and it's awesome. We're about 30 minutes from Pensacola Beach, the most beautiful beach in the U.S. Just saying. And Pensacola is kind of a growing area. We get people from Tampa, we get people from Mobile, we get people from Louisiana. Everyone kind of comes here, especially around May time. It's a big party. However, if you're here for Memorial Day, the beach might not be your thing. It's became the spot for Pride, and it's always on Memorial Day weekend. So just keep that in mind.
I mean,
Thank you so much.
it's awesome. Man, does anyone else love Rojo's accent? I didn't hear a lot of he said because I was listening to his twang.
He does not have a twang. That sounds like
For people from
normal.
Arizona, that does not sound normal. Just saying.
What?
Wait, do you think I have an accent?
Yeah, absolutely. But you have
Oh.
a Floridian accent. You don't have a Louisiana fat boy accent.
Southern
Definitely not.
like I'm here from the South.
Okay.
Fling has a Oregon, very kind-hearted way to talk.
Whoa, whoa,
Like a-
whoa.
Even though she
Maybe-
rages.
Washington.
Yeah.
Washington.
You know, again.
Oregon is for those who wish they could be in Washington.
See, the crazy thing is, like, Fling to me is the typical Midwestern, like, mom accent. And she's like, when something bad happens, she says, "Oh, geez, oh, boy."
Oh Lord.
And it's
That
just so...
100% is from my mom.
That reminds me of like Wisconsin. Like, oh, don't you know? Like, hey, don't you?
Yes. There's a show. What's the name of it? But man, this show is taking place in Montana. You can hear. He's a couple of states up. It's not that far. You could hear the difference. I mean, a couple of states to the side is Fat Boy too, and it's different. You know what I mean? So, but Texas is like 14 states, but whatever.
Yeah.
Where do you guys think I sound like I'm from?
Arizona.
You sound normal, bro. You sound like me.
Yeah,
well,
you sound like
you sound
normal.
better than me.
Hey!
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you got a little bit accent.
Yeah, yeah.
Like every corner of the United States, other countries. So I'm always wonder, like, 'cause I just pick up things from everywhere that I use, when I speak. So I always wonder, what do people? Yeah, just normal.
I think the better person to gauge that is someone that's not even from here. So it'd be Doro, you know, because he would notice maybe a twang in different ones. Because to us, Doro has like a upside down twang type of shit. You know what I mean? Like Doro's from the
Actually,
UK.
I watched this thing where they did this study, like linguistics,
Mm-hmm.
and how things change over time. So when people move from Europe, like England, Ireland, Scotland area, and came here and settled, the different areas you can trace back um, to where they came from. They said it just kind of slowed down, or they described how it changed, but it's still the same accent. It was really interesting.
Yeah, even so, the beauty about, yes, there was a lot of things that we did in the military, but one of the beautiful things that I believe that we did was collaboration with other nations, and the UK was one of them. So we were in an area of operation with UK soldiers, Marines, and other nations, and they even said, like, we were hanging out with some of them, and one of the other guys were talking, and we look at him like, what the fuck is he saying? And we look at his UK friend to translate, and he goes, "Don't worry, mate. Sometimes we don't understand him." It's like, oh, so you got those too? Like, that's the South for us. Like, you have a twang too? He's like, yeah. The Ireland areas, like where they usually have kind of the twang for them and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's different ways of conversing, or just they have a twang. So I thought it was so cool to see that in other nations. You know what I mean? But regardless, in a different nation or not, when you go to trauma, when you have trauma, you know, it does have to, the impact of your social, where you grew up, parents around or not, has a big impact into it. And the support from loved ones when you're going through something like that is important. You as a person learning those coping skills is very important to your recovery process. The faster you start learning and thinking that, the faster you will heal. And I'm not saying to heal fast, but everyone's healing process and time is different. This is not a race. This is just for you to be better. So whatever that is, Rojo says, I try to combat breathing to stay calm, but it's not normal for me, so I struggle to keep the rhythm. Bro, I have a struggling fucking reading problem over here. But no, I see what you're saying, man. I don't know. I like those games like Call of Duty and all that because it makes me react fast, and with that, you try to me, it's a game against myself. If I overreact, I lose the game. If I stay cool, calm, collective, I will win the game. Um, we were playing with Holden and everything, and he said something about like, "Hey man, thanks for the leadership." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know, man. I just like I want to win." And like I start breathing and start thinking like, "Do we want to push? Can we push with a ring?" Like different techniques and strategies that we've used before, right? So, hey Eli, what's up, big dog? My man. But that's why I like that game. Some people don't like it because it's too much going on at once. You know, and to me, that's part of, and it could be that self-destructive mechanism and behavior that I haven't even noticed. It could be that, but I think to me, I've identified the self-destructive behavior when it comes to video games. It's playing for 4 to 6 hours. When I'm like playing all that long, this should be to me. Yes, it's a mode of living for some people, absolutely. I'm not saying that, but to me, I try to, play to decompress and have a good time with my friends. Next Friday is your graduation, Eli. Banana bread, bro. Hell yeah. Congratulations. And again, everyone, yeah, whoop whoop. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here. We're changing the time for the MVP morning mix. We started at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to continue this. So hopefully, we all get acquainted. We like it, and it starts our morning a little bit better with more motivation, and it gives us a little bit more of time for our lives, right?
Yeah, I like
Jay,
this time.
yay! I'm
I
glad.
do
Working
too.
better for me right now.
For real?
Yeah.
Look, let me tell you, I was the biggest skeptic and I didn't want to do it, but I love it actually. I feel so much more engaged and just clear-minded. And I was able to take an hour out of my day at this time versus noon because I usually work through my lunch. Everyone like starts calling like noon, 1, 2, 3, right? No one likes to call first thing in the morning, so it works for me.
You're not lying. Yep. Everyone wants to call you when you're getting lunch. The
I
way it
didn't know
is.
you guys switched. I just happened to wake up and when I start looking, through everything for the morning, and then I just saw y'all were on, so I was like, "Morning mix. What's everybody doing in there?"
We'll get with the program, Bex.
I know, right?
Thank you for waking up and
I've been
joining
hitting
us.
though.
No, you haven't.
I miss you.
Yeah, for Rizzo.
What you been
I
up
missed you
to?
guys too. Um, I've been really busy the last month. I met somebody. Um, so we've been spending a lot of time together. And
Congratulations.
I had, thank you, people in from out of town and all kinds of stuff. It's just been a crazy month.
Well, as long as you're
But
happy,
now I
we're
feel
happy for
settled.
you.
Mm-hmm.
I am
Good.
happy, thank you. Yeah, I mean, if I'm willing to drive an hour and a half to meet you, I'll keep you around.
That's how I am. I hate driving, bro.
if
Banana
it
bread, bro?
if it works for me, all right, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm not gonna just drive an hour and a half just for anybody.
Yeah. Eli says you
When I
start
could be
at
at home
15 my
enjoying
time.
my peace and quiet in my home.
Yeah. Eli, does it well, I hope this works for you too, and 3 p.m. you pick us up. Yeah, that's awesome, man. It is 6 a.m. over here for Arizona, or Pacific, I should say, not just Arizona. And hopefully, I'm seeing some beautiful shining faces here, like Miss Fling. I'm so happy to see her here. So I hope this triggers a lot more people to come in here and uh, yeah, change our community. This is gonna be fun. And thank you for those that said, "Hey, this is a better time to change." And we're listening to what everyone says. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But hey, um, just know that we're trying here to make the community better. So we got to
It's a
think.
great start to the day.
Yeah, banana bread.
That's
You get
awesome.
that?
I didn't think
What?
about that. Thank you. That's really amazing.
Huh.
Start your day off right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly, you won't work. Sadly, it won't work during the summer because it'll work 7 to 16. Eli, the summer for where you are is like all 3 weeks. Let's be real. No, I'm joking.
Oh, that's so true. He's not joking, bro. That's so true.
But anyone else that's streaming right now, if you can, please, we have a $10 gift card. We have a raffle that we're gonna do. Handsome Jay was able to put up that list for us. If anyone wants to stream it, please let us know so we can put anyone that's in your community and that was participating in that raffle so they have that opportunity. I'm saying opportunity a lot. Opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. Now everyone's gonna say opportunity. Yay! Going once. We got Eli in there. Yeah, huh? Yeah, huh? We got Eli, we got Fling, we got Dagger, we got E. I don't know the other ones because I don't know if they're bot or not, so I'm good. Jayskis? Anyone
Are we
else?
ready?
Always ready.
Let's do it.
Pull the lever, crunk.
Who
Pull the
who wants
lever.
to call it?
Pull the lever.
Am I pulling the lever?
Pull the lever. Who said that?
I
That
mean, I
was
haven't thought
something.
about that quote in
That's
a
probably
long
Rojo.
time.
Rojo's a man. Jet Miss Plum took it! Yay! Good job, Miss
Rigged.
Plum.
Nice.
Rigged.
So, hey, hey, hey.
Hooray!
So I'm donating mine back to the MVP Relief Fund. Just FYI, if you guys win ever and you don't necessarily want to accept the gift card or you want to pass it along, that's always an option. The Relief Fund, I think it's at $500, and now this will make $550.
Woo-woo.
Jade and Jay both last week
Let's go.
donated their winnings. Thank you so much. And then we'll also have some other programs available in the future that you can contribute to, possibly like scholarship funds and things like that. If you have any suggestions for funds that you might want to see. So right now we have the relief fund. That's for any veteran that's in need. If they're homeless and they need a hotel room, if they need groceries, that's what we use that money from. We've used it for groceries for people, rent for people. So you can donate it there, or you can always donate it to another one. Just give us a suggestion, and we'll be more than happy to consider that as a fund that people can contribute their winnings to. So thank you for everything you do, guys.
Can you guys fund my electric bill for this summer in Arizona?
That's a big no, dog. You're gonna bankrupt us.
Yeah.
I mean, just saying.
Like
Just
we
putting
should
it
have
out
one to
there.
fly me to the next meet.
Oh, there you go.
Whoop,
We can fund a
So,
flight for him
any-
to come meet us.
A diaper fund?
A diaper, there you
fund?
go.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. When are
You're
we
gonna
getting
need that, girl.
Eli says, donate to me so I can party during graduation.
Get out of here.
But yeah, you know, it's the opportunity that we have, and this is how we can help others, and this is how we can help one another help others. You know, we're stacking the little help that we all have, and we're putting it all together and helping someone in need. And we don't know who that person's gonna be, you know, but you never know. That's a good thing, you know, like it's all of us together that makes the big difference. So everyone, thank you very much for being here. Really appreciate it. I don't know what you're gonna play today, Jay. Are you still gonna be doing the Destiny Slay?
Until 12.
Oh,
That's when the servers go down for
What?
the
12 Eastern
DLC.
time?
Yeah, from my understanding.
7, 8, 9, 10. I hate you.
So, we got 2 more hours to finish the season pass, hopefully.
Awesome. Right on. All right,
Yeah.
y'all. Well, thank you everyone for coming. Really appreciate it. We will be back on Wednesday, 6 a.m. Pacific, 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern time. And Wednesday's also Walk It Out Wednesday. Don't forget about that. I can't walk it out, but I'll be trying to do it. But yeah. Wednesday we're gonna be talking about like different things about PTSD, and we're gonna continue this week. And again, it's not just about military experience. Post-traumatic stress happens to a lot of people, and for many reasons. So don't feel that because you didn't join the military, this cannot happen to you. It can happen to anyone, and
Right.
be aware of yourself. Yeah, you know, start.
Mine is pre, during, and post. It expand like all
Yeah.
areas of it.
Um,
So yeah.
Wednesday we're gonna be focusing a little bit
And
more on stories. I'm excited to hear 'em. Absolutely. There's gonna be, you know, challenges from people, victories from people. I mean, I try to keep it down myself, but there's some things that like I've won and I can say I'm over, and there's some things that I can't even talk about yet. So, you know, it's not a race as long as we continue trying. Love y'all. See y'all Wednesday then. I'm gonna
Love
go
you.
slay a
See you
little
guys
bit.
Wednesday.
Let's
Bye,
go.
guys.
Love
bye.
you all.
Have a blessed day.
Peace.
Seeing you guys.
Later.
Wait, stop what you're doing right now and check this out.
Our mission at My Veteran Passion, MVP, is to elevate awareness of veterans' mental health. Through both physical and virtual platforms,
Hello.
we empower our nation's warriors and continue
yeah.
the
I
battle
wanna play
against
some
veteran
Duty.
suicide to ensure a smooth transition for veterans into civilian life
Heroes.
while preserving the camaraderie they cherished during their service. Through diverse events, social and virtual gatherings, we provide connections, resources, benefits, and education.
as I've grown.
Strong bodies harbor resilient minds. Your support unleashes the true potential of these national heroes. Stand with us in nurturing success and creating a positive environment for mental and physical health alike.